All right, we back at it. Once again, this month, I mean, not a whole lot I feel like has came out to where I feel like I really got to talk about it, but I still wanted to make one of these videos just because there is some stuff I do want to talk about. We're in a bit of a slow period, and hopefully in May it starts to kind of pick back up. But the first song I do want to go into is actually Good Credit by Playboi Carti and Kendrick Lamar. I briefly did talk about it when I talked about music last time. Honestly, I've only been listening to it because as of recently, Kendrick Lamar did go on tour. And one song, I don't know why I wasn't expecting it, but I guess one song that, spoiler alert for people who are going to go see Kendrick, one song that he is performing is Good Credit. I mainly haven't been listening to it for Kendrick Lamar, to be honest. I've really been listening to it mostly for Carti. And while yes, I do like the Kendrick Lamar verse on Good Credit, I just really like Playboi Carti on the song. To me, on the song, Carti is like perfect on here, where he's using that deep voice and it's also mixed in with like a beat that has some like fat fucking bass just hitting it, kind of like some like Hood by Air in a way. Not as good as that song, but still it is a song that I do enjoy, and it's a song that I have been listening to quite a bit recently. And for the month of April, a couple albums did turn 10 years old, one of those being Cherry Bomb by Tyler the Creator. I do go back to this album like very rarely because I'm much like most people, I'm not the biggest fan of this project. And in all honesty, I'm taking away like 2, maybe 3, maybe 4, most likely like 2 to 3 songs from this entire album. But out of those 2 songs, there is a song that I do go back to quite often within Tyler the Creator's discography, and that's the opening track, DEATHCAMP. I think with like most songs off Cherry Bomb, it's so different from the rest of the track list, and there's no exception for DEATHCAMP, where DEATHCAMP is pretty much a rock song for the most part, and it's a great way, I feel like, to open out the album. Doesn't really set the tone as well, but it's still just a really enjoyable track in my opinion. It's a great combination in my opinion of rap and rock music, and like I said, for some reason it is the only song on that entire album that I do go back to. And of course, with the month of April was Record Store Day, and you bet your fucking ass I sat in that line for Record Store Day, and I got me a couple albums. I did get Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World 2, the deluxe To Eternal A Take, which I'm not gonna lie, getting this kind of pissed me off because right after that they started putting out like actual Eternal A Take vinyls, and I'm not gonna lie, I've always preferred Eternal A Take over this album, or like over the Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World 2. I still really like this album a lot. I'm trying to look and see without pulling it out, but I think this album is a blue. I could be wrong, but I think the vinyl's blue. And I played all of Lil Uzi Vert vs. the World 2 on my record player. I didn't get to play Eternal A Take yet. It sounded alright. Nothing too crazy. A couple songs when I came back to it, I did enjoy it a little bit more. But this album does have some classic Lil Uzi Vert songs, and one of those being my favorite song off the project, being Bean, or Kobe, whatever the fuck you want to call it, featuring Chief Keef. I really like Chief Keef's contribution to this song, and as well the Pure Born production is just a lot of fun production, but as well just Uzi's melodies, or his entire flow on this project, or on this song. Like this is like prime Uzi. I would say that like that 2018 2019 Uzi, or 2018 2017 Uzi, I want to say. I think this was recorded back in like 2018, but I don't know what other way to put it outside of just, it's a lot of fun. It's just a really fun song to listen to. And then of course, the only other project I did pick up for Record Store Day was an album I have been wanting for so fucking long, and this album is the other album that turned 10 years old this year, and that'd be none other than Barter 6 by Young Thug. And unfortunately, it's not a red vinyl, it's a silver vinyl, which I'm not gonna pull it out because that's just way too much work. And the one thing with this album that I was shocked at is this is the only album that I own on vinyl where it's not spun at 33 I forgot the acronym. I forgot what it stands for, but anyways, it doesn't spin at 33. It spins at 45, which I was shocked to find out because I played it and I was like, why the fuck does this sound so slow? So then I switched it to 45 and I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, it's just as far as like the content of this album, I mean, this what I think was Young Thug in his prime. Like, this to this day is my favorite Young Thug album. You might be able to make the case with So Much Fun. What I think I love most with this project is how there's a bit of a balance there, from having like a little bit of dark instrumentals, not throughout the entire project, but throughout most of the project, and then you get like this new kind of sound that somehow it still sounds so new and so fresh. To me, this album, Young Thug sounds completely different than I think he does on most other projects that I've heard from him. And I think I don't know what other way to put it, but mainly like there's something to kind of prove, I feel like, with this album. As far as just my favorite song in the album, I think my favorite song might be With That. Still, I know that's a basic answer, but the main song that I just have been listening to lately from this project has been the intro track, Constantly Hating, featuring Birdman. It's a great song to set the tone, and it feels so different. I feel like than the rest of this track list. I don't know what other way to put it. And I really like the hook as well. And I really do like Birdman on here. Might be my favorite feature on here. If not, maybe T.I. on Can't Tell. Yeah, I mean, it's shocking to me that this album is 10 years old, because I mean, I even remember hearing songs like Check, Halftime, With That, or like back when I was in middle school, man. Like, it's just crazy, bro. And then for the final track on this video today that I am going to be talking about is, unfortunately, I'm going to have to break my number one rule when it comes to these videos. When I do make these song videos, I always try to leave it to where I only talk about an artist once. As in, like, I only bring up one of their songs, not like... And this doesn't count for like, oh, if they're featured on the song. But Young Thug was still on some bullshit this month, because he had to fucking drop a whole single to his brand new album. What's it called? UY Scuddy, I think, which is coming out in May. I'm excited for that project. And this song, Money on Money, featuring Future, dude, it got me even more excited for the album. And the reason why I'm getting so much more excited, and I feel like this was kind of the case when you heard Young Thug on Dumb and Dumber off Lil Baby's album. But to me, I think it's the beat selection, especially on this song, and the way Young Thug approaches the beats. To me, it's like Young Thug's kind of coming back, as if he's hungry for it. He feels like he's got something to prove on this song, and just in terms of his delivery and the way he just goes on this instrumental. If this is the direction that he's going with the album, this might be a classic. I could be wrong. Don't clip that shit. I really love Young Thug on here. As far as Future goes, Future to me is the weakest part of this song to me. And it's not even that he gives a bad performance by any means. To me, it's a whole different instrumental when Future's rapping, and it didn't feel natural to switch over to that instrumental, especially when it just switches right back when Young Thug comes back in. Honestly, as much as I love Future, I could have done without him on this song. If this was just Young Thug, maybe if he added a second verse. Again, if this is any indicator for what we're getting for Young Thug's album, I'm excited to hear it. And yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And I know this was a bit of a short video, but no, I mean, I still just wanted to talk about some songs. I didn't have a whole lot that I really wanted to talk about, but I feel like at least going further, if some months are as slow as what April was as far as just music releases for me, then I may not go into I may not do one of these videos, but hopefully in May that is not the case. And once we get Young Thug's album, then we'll probably be getting a whole bunch more albums.
About that prick's face when he saw the gat.